10 expensive habits that will keep you poor. Does your bank balance keep getting low every time you check it? Do you often wonder where you spent it? At the end of the month, do you frequently find yourself short on cash? If so, you've come to the perfect place, because we're going to tell you the causes which are keeping you poor. You should be saving more and cutting back on spending if you occasionally worry about money. Take a close look at the bad money habits you may have acquired over the years rather than hoping for things to miraculously get better. You need to be aware of any habits that can hinder your progress, because acknowledging a problem is the very first step towards solving it. We're going to explain 10 habits that will always keep you poor, and if you want to work on those habits, then watch the complete video. Maybe at some point, you'll find the inspiration to change those bad habits. Number 1. Spending more as you make more. It's a fact that spending money is enjoyable. You want to treat yourself to nice goods, enjoy fine dining at expensive restaurants, and drive a fancy vehicle. Because of these desires, it can be quite difficult to restrain yourself from overspending. You simply think that because you make more money, you can afford it. What about your savings? You can't save any money, make investments, or retire if you consume every penny you earn. Their financial management is what distinguishes the wealthy from the poor. The wealthy keep their frugal lifestyles as their earnings increase, in contrast to the masses of individuals who spend every additional dollar they make. This is how they save more and start their enterprises or make investments to boost their income. 2. Only living in the present. In this world, there are two kinds of people: those who live for today and those who build for tomorrow. Regrettably, the majority of people belong to the first group. While it's good to appreciate the present, if you constantly trade future benefits for today's pleasure, you'll never become wealthy. The wealthy choose to put their money in investments and savings accounts that grow in value and produce future cash flow over spending it now. This is the distinguishing line between the rich and the poor. So if you desire to be wealthy, consider the long term when making financial choices. Do your best to save for the future, even though it is essential to enjoy the present. 3. Not thinking about early savings. When we're youthful, it's simple to become caught up in the numerous pleasures that money can offer. We're significantly more concerned about maintaining our social image than we are with retirement or home savings. We also get into the trap of thinking that we don't earn sufficient money to save, or that retirement is far away. Due to our carefree attitude, we spend all of our income, leaving nothing for future support. Because you think that you have months or years to build wealth, don't keep wasting money. Saving even a tiny sum of money over time adds up. Therefore, irrespective of your age or income level, this is the time to start saving. 4. Not keeping track of spending. We all think that we know where our money comes from and where it goes. Sadly, it isn't the case for the majority of us. Although we may be conscious of our major expenses, such as buying a car or a new phone, it's frequently the little things that drain our money the most. The majority of you, we're sure, gets shocked when your bill is higher than you expected it to be, because you don't keep track of your expenses and check your bank account at the end of the month. Simply begin maintaining a spending log if you don't want to complicate matters for yourself. Although it's not the ultimate solution, it'll help you become more aware of your economic situation. You'll be able to manage your money this way much better. 5. Lack of budgeting. Even if you're already keeping track of your expenditures, if you don't stick to a budget, you'll get into financial problems. You may be spending hundreds of dollars while being aware of where your money's going, but your credit card bill may still be mounting. You don't have a budget, therefore you don't know how much money you have to spend. Making a budget is the first step in managing your money, since it outlines how much you can spend without incurring debt. At the beginning of the month, you should allocate money for each expense and set aside some funds for savings. The best course of action is to create a budget, post it somewhere you can see it every day, and do your best to maintain it. 6. Relying on a credit card. Swiping your credit card while making purchases seems quite easy, but when you see the bill of that credit card at the end of the month, mostly it's more than the amount you make each month. Thus, paying back less money creates debt, which keeps increasing each month, adding the debt of the next month and the interest on the previous amount. This vicious cycle never ends, making it impossible to get debt-free. Do you know why? While using a credit card on a daily basis, You don't tend to realize how much money you've spent, and thus one day unknowingly you exceed the amount you've earned in the month. In short, you're borrowing money from your future income to pay for the present. We suggest you be a cash person. Just carry the amount you need, and if you're using a credit card, then track every charge. 7. Excessive spending on housing. Though having your own home seems exciting, but people often tend to buy big, luxurious homes that exceed their savings. Firstly, you spend years saving for a house, and then you spend the remaining life paying the debt you accumulated while building the house. Why pay that much when you may choose a smaller home and use the remaining funds for future expenses or investments that'll earn you more money? And with that, you can renovate your home later. Also, people spend a lot on updating the interior according to the trends. They don't pay attention to the increasing electricity bill, and thus while creating an expensive image in front of society, they forget to save and instead get into debt. People need to start living for yourselves without caring for society. 8. Overspending on entertainment. People spend a lot of money on entertainment while living only in the moment and not caring about the future. Frequent outings, movies in the cinema, dinner dates, vacations, and buying new gadgets lead to overspending. We're aware that if we just live with an eye on the future and neglect to care for ourselves in the present, we'll only feel frustration. However, altering your entertainment habits to fit the budget can enable you to make some savings. For example, have movie nights at home, dinner dates in restaurants once a month, and have a vacation twice a year while saving money. It will give you more satisfaction because then people will enjoy without the stress of the future. Also, while buying gadgets, try to wait for sales, and sometimes just try to resist your urge by looking at your budget. 9. Buying luxury brand things. Unfortunately, we're living in a society where we are judged by how expensive we look, how expensive we buy, how expensive we drive, and how expensive we eat. And most people, while trying to fit in the crowd, exceed their expenditures more than they earn, and thus end up with no savings and debt to pay off. These people live for getting acknowledged by society and get into trouble when they get hit up by some kind of emergency. When they reach the age of retirement, they end up with no savings and no investment. These people need to set their priorities right. The sooner, the better. They don't need the praise of society to live happily. They need to provide for their children, to pay their medical bills, and this can be done by saving some money and being mindful of expenses. Number 10. Making irresponsible investments. The worst thing you can do with your savings is to make unreasonable investments. We ignore the basics of investing and carelessly invest in stocks of those businesses which have no potential to grow. We don't research the background and product of the company. We make emotional decisions if it's a startup company by friends and family, without talking about the risks, goals, and growth of the company, thus end up losing all our money. We should consult our lawyers before investing and do homework, because that money is earned by investing our youth and time to secure our future. If we lose that money, then we're left with nothing. Stopping unhealthy financial habits as fast as possible is essential. Poor money management can make it difficult for you to achieve your financial objectives and put you up for failure. Living paycheck to paycheck, not saving money, and having bad spending habits might make you vulnerable to unexpected situations and prevent you from having enough money for retirement. As you can see, poor money management habits can ruin your financial prospects. We hope you will try to avoid these habits from now on and will be able to save some money for your future. Make sure to like and share the video before we end it. Please do remember to subscribe to this channel for more great videos.